Hey friend, I hope you're doing well today. Maybe you found this video completely by accident and everything is going great for you right now. If that's the case, I'm glad you're here. But if things aren't going so well, and somehow the algorithm or whatever force controls the internet these days decided to send you here, then I genuinely hope I can help you see things from a different perspective, even if it's just a little bit. So, if you're going through a tough time, I invite you to stick around, reflect with me for a while, and just spend some time together. Before we get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Victor Canchola, and today I'm just another adult who's been through a few things in life, just like you and just like everyone else. I've had some incredible moments, some of the happiest moments of my life, actually. The kind of memories I'd gladly relive over and over again if one day God called me home and asks me to look back on the life I've lived. I know what joy feels like, I know what happiness feels like, and I value those moments deeply. But I think I value them even more because I also experienced the other side of life. I'm not different from anyone else. I've had reasons to celebrate, and I have reasons to suffer. I've experienced moments of genuine happiness, but I've also gone through periods of sadness, disappointment, and pain. The truth is, I needed to experience sadness, loss, frustration, anger, and a few scars of my own before I could really understand what other people go through. So, if you're not feeling okay today, or if you're going through a difficult chapter in your life, there's a good chance I can relate to at least some of what you are feeling. I understand what it's like to work incredibly hard for something and still come up short. To give it everything you have, your time, your effort, the late nights, the energy, the determination, to feel like you're right there, just one step away from achieving the thing you've been chasing, only to walk back home empty handed. I know what that feels like. I also know what it's like to wipe away your tears and pretend everything is fine. To hide your pain, to cry when nobody else is around. To feel alone and keep it to yourself because you don't know how to talk about what you're carrying. And sometimes there's that feeling in your throat, like there's an emotion trying to find its way out, but you don't know or you don't have the words for it. You don't know how to express it, you don't know what to do with it. So you just carry it with you. There are things I wish I didn't know what they felt like, but I know what it's like to help carry your father's casket. I know what it's like to throw those first handfuls of dirt onto his grave. And I know what it's like to experience that at 13 years old when you don't fully understand what's happening and you don't have the emotional tools to process what you're seeing. The truth is, nobody really prepares you for something like that. And yet, sooner or later, loss becomes a part of life for all of us. One of the hardest parts comes afterward. It's walking back into the house, seeing the places they used to sit, the spaces they used to fill, and realizing how empty those spaces suddenly feel. Realizing that life has changed in a way that can't simply be undone. That feeling is devastating, and even today, I still miss him. I will tell you something else. As the oldest brother, I felt like I had to be strong. I felt like I had to stay calm, or at least pretend that I was, because I couldn't allow my younger siblings to see me fall apart too. Looking back, I wish someone had told me that wasn't a burden I needed to carry by myself. I deserved the chance to grieve too, and I deserved the chance to let that sadness and pain come out just like any other kid would. But the past can't be changed, and all we can do is learn from it and carry those lessons forward. I also know what it's like to make mistakes and hurt people you care about in the process. I know what it's like to lose someone's trust and realize you may never fully get it back. I know what it's like to be the villain in somebody else's story because of decisions I made and mistakes I could have avoided, because I'm not perfect. I've caused pain too, and I regret some of the things I've done. Like I said before, I make mistakes and I'll probably continue making mistakes for the rest of my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm human. We are human. The difference is that I hope to become a little better with each passing day. Before I try to share any message with you or talk about the ideas in this video, I wanted you to understand something first. I wanted you to know that I'm not speaking from a place of perfection. I'm speaking as someone who's struggled, failed, grieved, regretted things, and tried to learn from them. And more than anything, I hope I've been able to connect with you, even if only a little. Because what I've really been trying to say this whole time is simple. I understand. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I understand. After everything life has taught me, and after learning to be more empathetic and learning how to truly listen to other people, I hope I can offer a helping hand to those who need it. To the people carrying broken hearts, to the people who are hurting quietly, and to the people who feel like nobody understands what they're going through. At some point, life or God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in put difficult situations in front of me. And then, years later, it gave me the ability to understand them. Not immediately, not even when I was living through them, but eventually. And maybe that's the reason I can sit here today, record this video, and leave you with something positive. Because even though this video has been about me so far, from this point on, it's about you. What do I mean by that? Well, for starters, you are stronger than you think you are. Maybe you're going through something difficult right now. Maybe life feels heavy, and maybe you're carrying a burden that nobody else can see, but you are still here. You are still standing. You are still enduring. Life has challenged you too. It's forced you to make difficult decisions, and it's put obstacles in your path. You know, life has taken you through seasons that you never asked for, and yet you're still here. Because whether you realize it or not, you've been strong enough to face everything that's come your way up to this point. And even if you've lost before, even if you failed, and even if you feel like you've fallen short of the person you wanted to become, you are still here and you are still trying. And that matters more than you think. You already know that life isn't always fair, and yet somehow you found strength in places you didn't even know existed. You've kept moving forward, you've endured, you've faced what was put in front of you. And that's why I believe that whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever challenge you're facing, whatever burden you're carrying, whatever feeling is weighing on your heart, it may seem like your entire world in this moment. But in the grand scheme of things, this chapter will only be a small part of your story. One day, what you're living through right now will be a memory, just a chapter, just a season of your life. And this difficult moment will become just one small piece of everything that makes you who you are. Now, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're going to have to face it. There's no way around it. You have to accept that this is part of your reality right now. My guy, you're going to have to clench your fists, take a deep breath, and push through it the same way you've pushed through every challenge that came before. Get back up, brush off the dust, and try again. One more time, yes. As a friend of mine likes to say, if you fall down, you get back up. What else are you gonna do? Stay on the ground forever? And honestly, he's got a point. Right now, you probably can't see it. Maybe the situation you're facing feels too overwhelming, And maybe it's taking up so much space in your mind that it's hard to imagine anything beyond it. But I can almost guarantee you this: when you make it through, you'll come out stronger, you'll come out wiser. You probably carry a new scar, but you'll also carry new lessons, new perspective, and new tools that can help both yourself and the people around you. Because we can't keep passing our pain on to other people. We can't keep being wounded people who go on to wound others. That cycle has to stop somewhere, and maybe it stops with us. Now, whether you believe in God, the universe, fate, pure chance, or even a giant potato floating somewhere out there in the cosmos, I genuinely believe something. If this challenge found its way into your life, then you have the ability to overcome it. I really do believe that. And before you start thinking this is just another motivational video where we're all supposed to hold hands and pretend everything is possible, that's not where I'm going with this. That's really not the point. The point is awareness. The point is realizing that deep down you already know most of what I'm saying. You know it's true. You just needed someone to remind you. You already know this moment is temporary, that life keeps moving. You already know that change is the one thing that never stops. And because of that, this won't last forever either. One day you look back on this version of yourself. One day you'll remember this chapter, and one day, if you keep going, tomorrow is going to be beautiful. I want to share a short story that I've always liked. I think it fits perfectly with everything we've been talking about. There was once a powerful king. It was King Solomon. He had wealth, power, wisdom, and everything most people spend their entire lives chasing. And yet, despite having it all, he was restless. I guess even kings have their problems. One day, Solomon gathered his wisest advisors and gave them what seemed like an impossible task. He said, I want something that will serve me for the rest of my life. Something that will bring me peace when I'm sad and keep me humble when I'm happy and victorious. The advisors left and spent days thinking about it. They debated, they discussed ideas, they searched for an answer worthy of a king, and eventually they found one. When they returned, they brought Solomon a simple ring. The king examined it carefully, and he turned it between his fingers and noticed a small inscription engraved on the inside. The ring read, These two shall pass. At first, my king didn't understand, but he accepted the gift and went on with his life. Days passed, then weeks, then months, then years. Life continued as normal until one day sorrow finally found its way to the king. A loved one died unexpectedly. Heartbroken and unable to find comfort, Solomon looked down at the ring and once again he read the words, These too shall pass. For the first time he understood. His grief would not last forever. His pain would not stay with him forever. And finally the message made sense. More time passed. Eventually Solomon recovered from his loss. He conquered new lands, his kingdom grew, his power increased, his victories multiplied. Life was filled with celebration and triumph, and during one of those moments of success, he looked at the ring once more and again it said, This too shall pass. That's when he understood the second lesson. Success is temporary too, victories don't last forever, neither do failures, and from that day forward, in every triumph and every setback, Solomon would look at his ring and remind himself, This too shall pass. So, wherever you are right now in life, smile, lift your head up, remember the lesson, and never forget, This too shall pass. There's one more thing that's helped me through some of the hardest seasons of my life, and that's gratitude. Now, I know that might sound like a strange thing to say. Why would you be grateful for the bad things that happen to you? That's a fair question. And after hearing me say that, you might be thinking, what do you know about my problems, dude? Honestly, maybe this idea comes too early for some people. Maybe you are still in the middle of the storm. Maybe the wound is still too fresh. And if that's the case, I understand. Remember, of course, I'm not trying to minimize what you're going through. Your pain is real, your struggles are real, and if you are having a difficult time, please talk to someone you trust. Don't carry it all by yourself. The people who love you want to see you happy, they want to see you healthy, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. After all, if someone you loved needed help, wouldn't you be there for them? Now, getting back to gratitude. What I've learned is that there can be lessons hidden inside life's challenges. Sometimes a difficult experience teaches you something you couldn't have learned any other way. Sometimes a setback prepares you for something bigger that's waiting further down the road. And sometimes the obstacle itself becomes part of the training. The struggle you're facing today becomes the story that helps someone else tomorrow. And maybe life placed you in a difficult situation because it had something to teach you. Maybe it helped shape your character, and maybe it forced you to grow in ways you otherwise never would have. It helped you turn you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. And if that's true, then perhaps there's something worth being grateful for after all. Not because the pain was good or because suffering is enjoyable, but because you found something valuable on the other side of it. And in my experience, the more gratitude you carry through life, the more reasons you seem to find to be grateful. I have a friend whose philosophy in life is very simple. He says, everything that happens to me is the best thing that could have happened to me, even if I don't understand it yet. At first, that sounds a little strange, maybe even ridiculous, but sit with that idea for a moment. Think about it. Let me tell you another story. There was once an African prince who was extremely demanding with his servants. He expected perfection in everything, and whenever something didn't go exactly the way he wanted, he would become furious. Every inconvenience felt like a disaster. One particularly stressful day, the prince decided to visit a lagoon in the savannah where he liked to relax and clear his mind. His personal assistant accompanied him, mostly so the prince would have someone to complain to about all the problems in his life. As they walked, they became so distracted by conversation that they failed to notice a lion until it was standing directly in their path. The lion charged. It leapt toward the prince and attacked him. The assistant reacted instantly. He drew his weapon and fired a shot into the air. The noise startled the lion, causing it to retreat and run away. But before it escaped, it managed to bite the prince's hand, severing two of his fingers. They returned to the palace, and while the prince was being treated, he was consumed with anger. He swore he would find the lion. He swore he would return armed and take revenge. The assistant tried to calm him down. He said, Your Highness, perhaps you don't understand it right now, but what happened today may actually be the best thing that could have happened to you. I just felt too silly, but anyway. The prince stared at him in disbelief. The best thing? He had just lost fingers. Furious at the comment, he ordered his assistant thrown into the dungeon. A few days later, still obsessed with revenge, the prince grabbed his rifle and set out to hunt the lion. Since his usual assistant was now sitting in a cell, he selected another servant to accompany him. Together, they followed tracks through the wilderness, searching for the animal, but before they could find the lion, they were suddenly surrounded by a hostile tribe. Within seconds, they were captured. As it turned out, the tribe practiced ritual sacrifice, and according to their beliefs, only a physically perfect person could be offered as a sacrifice. When they inspected the prince, they noticed that he was missing two fingers. He was no longer considered perfect, and because of that, they released him. The replacement servant, however, was not so fortunate. Poor guy. The prince returned to his palace in shock. Immediately, he went to the dungeon and ordered his assistant to be brought before him. When the assistant arrived, the prince told him everything that had happened. Then he said, "You were right. I didn't understand it at the time, but the lion's attack was the best thing that could have happened to me." The assistant smiled. "I can see that now," he replied. "But your highness, you sending me to the dungeon was also the best thing that could have happened to me." The prince looked confused. The assistant continued, "Because if you hadn't locked me away, I would have been the one who went with you that day. I would have been captured, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now." And that's the strange thing about life. Sometimes what feels like a curse ends up being a blessing. Sometimes the thing we spent months or years resenting turns out to have protected us in ways we couldn't see at the time, and sometimes understanding only arrives long after the event itself. That's why I try to remember my friend's philosophy. Everything that happens to me is the best thing that could have happened to me, even if I don't understand it yet. At the end of the day, this is just a story, a tale if you will. But think about it. Your problems today might be clouding your judgment and preventing you from seeing things clearly. Maybe if you shift your perspective, you can see your problems differently and realize they aren't as big as you think. Finally, my friend, I remind you that if you're going through something difficult, seek help. Lean on the people you trust and don't isolate yourself. The people who care about you will be there for you. That's it for today. Check out my social media to see more content and to resolve any questions you might have. Also, don't leave without liking and commenting what you like the most. And remember to subscribe because the best is yet to come. We'll see each other again and goodbye. Ciao.